Good evening, everybody. I believe we are live. I don't know what happened. It says to go live, so I'm going live. I hope we're live. I'm doing this on my own tonight. I know we've been talking for several weeks. This is our fourth show of Drama to Dharma, and thank you all for coming on. And I am literally doing this right now live by myself because I lost Debbie, and she was going to show this really cool video. And so I'm hoping that everything is being seen and that you're not seeing this little tab thing here. I'm not sure what you're seeing, but anyways, my name is Josie Herndon. Welcome to Drama to Dharma. This is part of, we might have to change the title of the show. I don't know, drama from the beginning. But anyways, this is what happens in life. It's like, so if we change it to something else, you'll know why. But anyways, we love the show because it's guided, we're mystically guided by the angels, by Gabriel, who I'm writing a book. Gabriel, I channel Archangel Gabriel for many years. And I'm also an executive CEO and owner of a treatment center, Addiction Therapeutic Services. So it's very interesting how I can, just with having a business profession and integrating in my spiritual beliefs and my spiritual path. So a lot of the discussions that we have on our show is just that, talking about life as just normal humans that we are, as I am. I'm as human as anybody, more than whatever. So, everything that goes on in my life, everything that goes on in your life, this is a place where we can absolutely talk freely, ask questions. We have a topic every week. Tonight's topic is unrest to your best. So because it's been a week of unrest on the planet, putting it lightly without any details, we all know what's going on out there. So there's unrest with many things. And during this time of unrest, how can we step into the best of who we are? How can we just keep going and stepping into our best selves? Because it's very tempting to isolate, to be, and it's not even tempting, it just is. For me, it's, I get anxiety, I have fear, I watch the news and I get scared. So, and I get worried and I get mad. All these emotions just come depending. So how can we go from the unrest that we're feeling from the planet, whether you watch the news or you just feel it intuitively as you're going on with your life, and step into our spirit and step into the best that we can be, the best of who we are, and align with our eternal self. So that's what Drama to Dharma is. It's the drama of our world that we live in and connecting to the Dharma of who we truly are. And knowing that there's no judgment ever, because when we connect, when we feel like, oh, I did something that was not very drama or very Dharma, then it's like, okay, that's just, we're human. So we just, click back in and go, how do I connect with God? How do I be the best person I am? How do I connect with our higher source? Whoever, your light, your nature, your joy. How do we reconnect with who we truly are? And most of that is just finding that better vibration and that better thought of who we are, and just being that person as much as possible during this time of uncertainty. But the one thing Gabriel does say is that, during that, there's always change. There's always change every day. And what this is we're being forced basically to be in the now. We talk about this almost every week, where he reminds us that we're living right now, and it's not a philosophy, it's a fact. We can't go anywhere else but right now. Every time we make plans, there's no future plans, there's no ego. Whenever we make plans, then the universe is saying that that's not really what's happening here. So we're just going with the flow here. We're trying to and be the best person we can, knowing that everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be, although sometimes it doesn't make any sense. Now, the way the show is going to go tonight is I start out by thanking our sponsors, which is Addiction Therapeutic Services, and that's a treatment center that my husband and I, Jim, founded 8 years ago, and it's here in Rancho Mirage. So we've been doing this work for many years, 30 years myself, my husband 20 years in the field of addiction medicine, and we have an IOP. So if you can, look us up, atsiop.com, and here's the website also. And we'd love to help you if you have any questions about, actually it's Advanced Therapeutic Services. We did change that. I just read that. I'm like, oh, that's right. Because we also service mental health. So it's not just addiction, mental health, addiction, and we're day treatment, outpatient. We do assessments, adults, adolescents. So look us up if you have any needs with addiction or mental health, anxiety. Give us a call and we're here to help you. We do telehealth, so we can do it just like this. If we can figure out our Zoom, which usually works well, then we can do our telehealth. So that's our sponsor plug. I also want to thank Spirituality Gone Wild, because that's one of the platforms that we are hosted on. And Deborah has always been very supportive of everything I do, and I just want to thank her for giving us this platform. We have two guests. We have three guest panelists, but we have a couple. We have two of my dear friends. We have Sheri, Laine, and Gary Seidler. So they have been traveling the world the last 3 years, and they work in our field. I'll talk to you a little bit more about them. Most of you know them if you work in our addiction field. They're very well known. They are going to talk to us about their journeys that they've had over the last 3 years and what it's like in their spiritual path, and professional paths, and how they integrate their professional and spiritual. So that'll be Gary and Sheri Laine. They're going to be coming on in a few minutes. And then we have Denise Klein, who's also one of my very best friends, and she's from Malibu. She's a CEO and executive director of Milestones Ranch in Malibu, but she's starting a new project called Holy Shift. Isn't that beautiful? So it's a beautiful thing. So what she's going to talk about is her path, with her spiritual path, as well as her new project called Holy Shift. And that is a mobile boutique. And so she's going to talk to us about her mobile boutique, Holy Shift. That's right. You heard it right. It's Holy Shift. We don't cuss on this. No, we don't cuss on this show. So it's Holy Shift. And then she's also going to talk about the shift, because when we just saying the words, we shift into holy from wherever we are. So I love that title. All right, so that is that. We do have the comments where you can go online right there on the side, comments, and ask me any questions, make comments. I definitely love it when you do that. It helps the show keep going. You can ask questions for Gabriel, and I'll answer them. He'll help me because he's right here with us, and so we're going to answer those questions for you. I know there's a lot going on right now, so he has beautiful messages to share. So I welcome the questions. I welcome the comments, and let's see. There we go. Okay, good. I had a big thing covering. So that's what we're going to do. And again, I thank you all for being patient with me, because literally, I am doing this on my own. I'm doing all the behind the scenes stuff as well. So this is pretty exciting for me. And you're all here with me doing it. And I love it that you're here with me because you guys have been so wonderful to me. All righty, let me see here. I have Carly here. I like to say hello to my friends that are here on Facebook. I have friends that are saying hello, and thank you guys. Send me your little hearts, because I understand that helps with our ratings. I don't know how that works, but I love hearts just because I love hearts. But if you put hearts out there, then I think that that the internet loves hearts too. So let's just if you think I'm okay, give me some hearts. If you think that Denise is okay, send her some hearts, because we literally feel the love across the virtual when you send us those hearts. So thank you so much for all of the hearts. Now, let's see. I am going to go ahead and just ask everybody to just take a moment to breathe for a moment. I'm a little, I can feel my anxiety because of the rough start, which really in life, it was not a rough start because we're here. So I just want to, for myself and for everybody, is if we can drop into a breath and feel and welcome the angelic realm, welcome the light space to come into this broadcast, so that the messages that are going to be received will be received in a beautiful way, so that whoever is on the broadcast will be touched by an angel tonight. You'll be touched by your angel. You'll be touched by God. And the last 8 minutes, just as a reminder, I know I mentioned it on there, but we're going to do 8 minutes of prayer for peace for the world. And so I hope that you choose to stay on. I'm going to bring our panel up, and we're all going to do a special prayer for peace during this time of unrest, for health during this time of illness that has hit many people, including, we're going to say a special prayer for my husband, Jim, at that time, who's been sick, who I love dearly. And, that he's going to get better soon, just start feeling better like immediately, because the prayers are going to be that intense. And then we'll pray for anybody that you guys, you pray for each other. You can put in the comments who you want to pray for, just to put it out there, because the angels say once it's in writing, there it is, it's done, it's good. So put out there what you want to meditate and pray on during those last 8 minutes. So again, I hope you stay and join us for that. I'm hoping it'll be a beautiful time for us to raise the vibration of the planet, one person at a time, because we're all one beautiful collective conscious. So that'll be at the last 10 minutes of our show. And now I am going to bring up our special guest, Gary Seidler and Sheri Laine. Hi, guys.
Hello, how are you?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So so Gary Seidler, Gary and I have known each other for many, many years. We met in Mexico on top of a pyramid in Teotihuacan. And then several years later, he brought into our world beautiful Sheri, who is just amazing. I mean, the moment I met you, Sheri, you're just an angel. And I just love that you guys met each other, and you have the most beautiful love story ever, because it was such a quick, you knew right when, it's almost like love at first sight. But you guys have been together for quite some time, many years. But the last 3 years of your journey, you have actually been traveling the world. So I am interested in hearing a little bit about that story. And Sheri is also going to be featured on our Recovery View live 50th edition on Sunday, the 7th, with her new book and some of her articles. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. Now, this time is for you guys to kind of talk about your journey over the last 3 years and share with us a little bit about who you are and what, who are you? To me, you're beautiful angels. But in our industry, you are phenomenal healers. And Gary, you have brought together our industry for over 30 years by bringing conferences together, being a publisher of many books, including Chicken Soup for the Soul. Gary read the first, book at a conference, and he went ahead and published it. And that's who Gary is. And from there, he's published many, many books, and before then, even more. So very interesting. You have a background of journalism and education. And for me, you've always been a mentor. And I just look up to you so much. And I'm honored to have you on our show tonight. So go, guys.
Whoa, that was nice. I like that.
From my heart to yours.
I like that. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. First of all, I'm so happy to be part of your show because of you and because of the title. I've been thinking about the title this afternoon, and I've been around now for 7.5 decades. And I know I seem like I'm still an adolescent in many respects.
When you put it that way, I've been around over 5 decades. But yeah, that's
bunch of decades.
Bunch of decades.
And I've seen a lot and I've done a lot. And I don't think a word like Dharma came into my consciousness until my recovery journey began. A lot of drama,
right?
Not much Dharma,
right?
And so my own process in recovery is still very much ongoing, very much ongoing.
Yes.
And just a few thoughts before I turn it over to Sheri. Is in terms of the 3 years that we've been traveling, had the good fortune to travel all over Europe and based in London, where I grew up. So for me, it was kind of a homecoming.
Yes.
And what really occurs to me is that people everywhere are the same.
Mhm.
We are all the same, you know.
That's right.
And regardless of, where in the world we are, no
Yeah.
matter what the color of our skin, our background, we are all the same.
Yes.
We are all the same. We want the same basic things, And I think that these back-to-back viruses
Yes.
that we're living under really does bring out the best and the worst in everything and all of us.
I agree.
And so many positive things I think it brings out.
Mm-hmm.
And although this is a time of fear and anxiety and probably increasing suicides, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera,
All of it, yeah.
it's a crisis for sure, big crisis.
Big crisis.
But I always remain optimistic because I think big change created by big trauma, like we're going through now, changes things for the better. Changes things for the better. And in the United States particularly, we have a very, I don't know how best to phrase it, workaholism is,
that's me. Yeah.
Is a good addiction to have. That's the way we are brought up here, to get more, to have more.
Right.
And the injustices that are now laid so bare for all of us to see, you can't ignore it anymore.
Right.
Nobody can ignore it.
Everything
everything's out there. I think we're bleeding out there.
Everything.
Literally and figuratively. So, something's got to give. Something's got to give. And of course, you don't want to get political. We're not going to talk leadership and blah, 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 blah.
Right. No.
Something has to change.
Yes, yes. Well, it is already changing.
And
it is changing regardless of how we think it is going to change or not. It's just doing it. So again, that's part of this discussion. How during this unrest time do we become our best? How can we be the best of who we are when we can't even relate? I mean, it's just like I can't even wrap around my brain what's happening sometimes when I look at it, right? But that's all the change that's happening. And so, yeah, and we're all one person basically in humanity. So
exactly.
With no judgment.
Sheri can speak much more eloquently than I to your question, which is what can we do at this period of time to really take care of ourselves and be the best we can be,
so that we can be the best for each other.
Absolutely.
Basically. If we're the best that we can be, then then that could be the new virus, right?
Exactly.
We all be the best that we can be.
And professionals in our field, they have the tools, they know what to do, but sometimes it's difficult for you all in the professional field to reach down and get all the stuff out of the bag that is there. So,
that's a good point, because during this time that I've been going through a lot myself personally, and then with everything that's going, so there's the macro and the micro of everything that's happening. But I've had to, because I've done many things, and you've been with me on journeys, and where you were doing deep dives and all of these wonderful things, and then so when times like this, I'm literally looking through my toolbox in my memory, going, okay, what is it that we teach our clients? What is it that I've learned through my own education, through my own experience, through my own journeys, and pull from that right now any tool I can sometimes. And really the simplest one is to breathe and to be right here. But sometimes it takes me a minute to get there.
Absolutely.
So as practitioners, we teach, and Sheri, you're a teacher with all of this. But I know that as humans, it's kind of nice because we can just maybe say, well, what would I tell my client to do?
Well, it was really interesting because when we were traveling, I made a point sometimes to Gary's dismay, to talk to everybody that I could.
Oh, how fun.
I wanted to know. I was an explorer. I knew.
Wow.
Oh God, here we go again. But I would talk to the taxi drivers, the Uber drivers, the waitresses, the people at our hotels, the guests, people at the cocktail bars. I mean, I just was hungry for information, who they were and what was their world like.
Beautiful.
And honestly, what it came down to was family. Everybody talked about the family.
Oh, the family, yes.
Everybody talked about the love of the family, the togetherness of the family, and the food.
Yes.
Those are the things that brought everybody to commonality. Everybody wanted to talk about the healthy food and what their waistline looked like, what their waistline used to look like, and what they wanted their waistline to look like now. You will talk to strangers about everything, right? People are a little unfiltered.
No, not everybody does, but obviously Sheri
No,
does.
when people
they would tell Sheri about that, yeah.
when you don't know somebody, you're a little bit freer. People would report. I mean, I would hear these stories from people that very go, I can't believe they just told you that. People were very free to share because they knew they were going to never see us again, right? Yeah,
Fun.
exactly.
Wow.
But really,
let me just tell a little story because this speaks to the issue. We're in, I don't know, Copenhagen or Amsterdam, or one of those great places. And Sheri and I were looking for a seat in I think it was a hotel or lobby or something. And it was very crowded. There were no seats. And there was a group of 4 or 6 people who could see us. And they said, look, come and join us. We'll just shove over and, you'll come and sit with us. So we did. And the fact that Sheri talks to everybody and meets so many people, occasionally you meet people that, oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean, you can't make up the stories.
Can't make this
You
up.
never know, right?
So, long story short, one of the 6 people that was sitting there, I can't even remember where she was from.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, maybe. Sort of a middle-aged woman, was a physician.
Mm-hmm.
Very high position in San Francisco in public health, I think. And we talked for a few minutes and published her.
What do you do? Everybody always says, what do you do?
A book called Adult Children of Alcoholics.
Wow.
It was the first big book that we published.
That you published.
Which set off a whole movement back in 1980.
So
back to the story. So this woman physician said, adult children of, oh my God. That book saved my life.
That's what she said. She started crying right there.
She started crying. That book saved my life. So
it was very touching, honestly.
In the 3 years that we traveled, we met, maybe not quite as dramatic as that, but we met a lot of really,
and you could feel the common chord.
Exactly.
The common chord. And you never know how we're going to, what you're going to have in common, what part of your life, what did you do as publishing that book that changed our industry and much of our behavioral health field and addiction field, Adult Children of Alcoholic movement, how that changed us and that changed her.
It changed
actually see the results of that. How beautiful is that?
Beautiful. And then of course, people
it literally saved my life for sure. Absolutely.
Oh, it's wonderful. And then once they find out what you do in your profession, of course, then they start telling me all the medical problems, and then we're having grandma's bowel challenges, I mean, it's so interesting, but people just want to connect.
Oh.
They want to connect with people that they feel that they can commune with.
And that's why this has been a difficult time these last couple, 3 months, because there hasn't been a connection. And, with all of the protesting and during a pandemic, the one thing Gabriel said from the gate was like, okay, humans just want to be together. They don't know whether to hug each other or hit each other. But they've been locked up alone for 3 months, and now they're out just being near each other. Just right now, they're just in droves. And yes, there's many, reasons why. And there's definitely, all of the reasons why. But one of the big reasons, an underlying spiritual reason, is because they're actually connecting with each other again as humans. Because
and I think
we've been not together as humans, not even to go to Starbucks to go see another human that you don't know.
Well, I think maybe in the beginning of this pandemic, I think they got it wrong when they called it social distancing. In my opinion, they should have said physical distancing, because social distancing does not mean no social interaction.
Right.
It means not standing close to people. And whenever I'm talking to any of my patients, now we has been on the phone or over Zoom or just chatting that we're having, I say, just because we're not next to each other doesn't mean we can't talk to each other. And I think that's really important for people to understand.
Well, look at how quickly as humans we figured it out online.
Yes.
We had to have that connection, Zoom, whatever online and everything. So we figured out how to make that connection immediately.
Very quickly. I mean, Sheri had to pivot of his conference. He had a live conference.
Well, I mean, my business or in the publishing, any business, I think, if you can adapt to the digital world that we're in, and we're not changing, it's going to go more in that direction.
Yeah.
So if you cannot adapt, you really are in a very vulnerable position.
Right.
And, so our conferences, just as an example, have all gone to a digital platform, like many other conferences and so forth, until further notice. Because the truth is, as we stand here today, we don't know, if there's going to be another live in-person conference. Certainly it doesn't look like by the end of this year.
Right.
And, I'm dealing, for example, with Scottsdale. In January, we do a big international trauma conference. I have no idea right now whether that will be live or in person. So there's so much uncertainty, so much uncertainty. And that is, I think, what is the biggest stressor on people.
Yeah.
Because if you can't adapt, or you don't have the tools, or you don't have the currency,
right,
it's very, very difficult. It's very hard.
And that talks about resilience as well.
Yes.
But as humans, we are so resilient. I think, we get into a rut but then we figure it out. We're resilient. I believe that as humans, we are going to adapt in all of these changes in this new world and be the best that we can be. And Gary, your conferences are amazing. It's usjt.com. For those of you who want to know, they have CEUs, Continuing Education for Professionals. You have a trauma conference, an adolescent, a spiritual conference in Santa Fe. Just go to usjt.com and then we'll put that in the comments so that you guys can, if you're interested in more online education with wonderful professionals. Some of your authors or your speakers that are your authors as well are amazing, and they're pioneers in our field.
And
so,
one other thing I wanted to say about what you talked about before we leave you, I think it's really important that people understand that change happens no matter what. Honestly, if you go kicking and screaming or you go gracefully through the door, it's going to happen. So it's really about learning to surrender into something else other than what you think you have to have. And that is part of the Drama to Dharma experience.
It is.
And I think what we're going through in our world right now is a piece of that important change. We can never unsee what we saw, but what we can do is bring our best selves forward into a beautiful change.
Yes.
And even if you don't agree with the politics of whatever, you're still changing.
We're still changing. We've been talking about evolving for 2020. And Gabriel calls it 2020 hindsight year. Yeah. But it's basically, we're going to evolve, and that's what we're doing. At this moment, we're all evolving as a human race. And so thank you for being on our show. And we're going to bring you back up at the end so we can do that beautiful prayer together. And blessings to you, my dear.
Great being with you, really.
Thank you. Now let's see if I can bring you back down. Nope. Let's see if I can bring you. Oh, Josie, what are we doing? Yay. Okay. I'll bring up somebody that's so random. No. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys. That was absolutely beautiful. And I hope that you come back again, and we're going to continue to share all your information. If you go to the websites and my website, josieherndon.com, I have everything up there, all the links to US Journal and recoveryview.com, our online journal. So thank you. All right. Well, that was very beautiful. So now I'd like to bring up Denise Klein, my next guest. and she's going to talk about Holy Shift. Let's see if we can do. Ah, there she is.
Hey.
Hey. Hi,
girlfriend.
Denise Klein is from Malibu, California, and she is going to talk to us about Holy Shift. But before we do that, I want to give a little bit of background. So Denise and I have been very dear friends, best friends basically, for many years. And she helped me through my spiritual path, as did Gary, and as, you know, being teachers in my life. So I want to thank you for that. She first introduced this Christian girl to The Secret, the book, The Secret. And that just opened me up. I was like, wow. And then I went from there. That was part of my journey. And then, you know, Abraham Hicks, and it just really opened up the positive feeling that I knew that, you know, in my soul, although I love my Christian beliefs and Catholic beliefs and all that stuff, but there was always something inside telling me I was doing it wrong, that I was guilty, there was this, there was that. And then once Denise came into my life and shared with me all these positive, beautiful writings and energy, I knew that where the truth lied. And I just haven't stopped since searching and being part of that. So I just want to honor you and thank you for that, Denise.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. It's just honestly so amazing to be here, because we started those conversations about 10 years ago.
No.
And look at where you're at now. I mean, you truly are an angel. And I would just love to thank you for being an angel in my life, as well as Candy Finnegan, who is also anchoring me to this project called Holy Shift.
Oh, good.
.com. It's something that I've been wanting to do. And I think, you know, we all have our regular jobs that we love doing. I'm a social worker. I love it. You know, it doesn't matter in what capacity I've done it. I've worked, you know, at Milestones for 16 years. I've worked in the nonprofits. I've worked in a nursing home. I love what I do, but there's always been something in my soul kind of tugging at me to do something more. And so I bought the domain name Holy Shift Gift Stores about 2 years ago. And now you and Candy are anchoring me and really putting me on the spot to make this happen and do my homework and legwork and get this out to the public. And what I say is to myself is, if not now, when, right? I mean, we really are all being called to do whatever we were brought here to do, whatever our soul was brought here to do.
So tell me about Holy Shift, and what is that going to look like in your mind?
Well,
your design.
Initially, it was going to be by a Starbucks in Malibu in a brick and mortar store. But, you know, the more I thought about it, and then after COVID, it's like, why don't I just do a mobile boutique? And that way I can take it on the road. I can take it to Santa Fe and see Gary and Sheri, or I can put it away if I need to rest a little bit. And then I can take it to open air markets. And so it's got a lot of pillars to it. So I actually wrote them down because I want to make sure I really set the intention to make this palatable. And so the first is service. I work with a lot of people who are going through rehab and starving for purpose and meaning. And that first year, after they leave rehab, they want to do service work. So I'm going to include them in the store, and they'll be helping out and greeting people and talking to people and being of service. So that's the number one pillar. The second is education. The last 20 years, I have met so many phenomenal authors and educators and therapists. And so a number of them have written books. And so I want to pick out like the top 15 spiritual and mental health books that I think really have made a difference in my life and the lives of others. So I'll have books in there. And then the third is mental health. It'll be like a social work urgent care, which has always been a dream of mine. So to be, you know, everywhere you go, as you mentioned earlier, wherever you go, people want to talk about mental health and addiction. You know, we're dealing with an addiction epidemic in the middle of a pandemic. So there's lots of dialogue going on. So wherever we park, people can walk in and we can talk and we can be social workers and help them find resources.
That's wonderful.
The fourth pillar is outreach. And that's where we're going to go to the conferences and network and go to just whatever community events are occurring. And then maybe we'll have a book signing or a songwriter's night or a laws of attraction night, fellowship. And then we'll bring our chairs out and just hang out. So we can do that anywhere. And then the last kind of feeds a little addiction of mine, which is shopping. I love to buy anything with affirmations. And so, it's going to be kind of like a spiritual Kitson store. If you know the store Kitson, it'll have a very spiritual twist to it.
Yes.
So we've already made flip-flops. One says holy, one says shift. So when in the morning to get grounded, you step into holy shift. And we're going to have candles, and we're going to have t-shirts with affirmations. You mentioned your Catholic upbringing. I was raised Catholic too. My mom to this day is sitting in a senior center saying the rosary twice a day. So I'm going to make t-shirts that say rosaries matter.
That's nice.
Kindness matters. And so it's going to be really amazing. And then it's going to have a philanthropic arm. So, a certain percentage will be donated to a charity, a nonprofit. So, for example, now if it was open, I would want to help nurses get telehealth sessions. So we would set aside a fund and donate to that. So it kind of fills all my joy triggers. And although I have a big day job, I mean, this feels like art and fun to me.
Yes. This is your calling, like we were talking about. And you've been talking about it for years, so I know it'll manifest. Absolutely. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your day job? Milestones Ranch Malibu?
You bet. Milestones Ranch Malibu has been around for 16 years. It's on Calamigos Ranch. We have stayed small by design. We have no more than 12 patients. I don't know if you've watched the movie Stand and Deliver, where Jaime Escalante goes into the classroom and he raises the SAT scores for the kids in the inner city because there's so much focus on those kids. So that's the whole model. Focus, be heart-centered. We have 5 former clinical directors who work for us, triple board certified psychiatrists, and we drill down to the underlying issues. So at times like this, where self-medicating it was an epidemic before, and I can't even imagine where it's going to go now. We all know that it's increasing mental health issues and addiction. We really look at the underlying issues. And so we're partnering with UCLA to do some outcome studies because they want to know what our secret sauce is. And it's that we stay focused and we really do not overpromise and underdeliver. We really want to be effective and change lives.
Very good. And you are a partner there. So you're the executive director. You're the CEO. You
Correct.
Make sure that the place, keeps going during all of these times. And that's been difficult for all of us who own treatment centers or are running treatment centers to keep our patients and our clients safe. And I know you've been doing that. And I thank you and honor you for everything that you do for me personally and for us as a world. You just bring so much great energy. So I cannot wait for the store to open, because you're going to come. I'll have you drive to my house, and then I'm going to go shopping in there.
Okay.
You should have a thing where you can book private, shopping.
Oh, yes. And we want to do Gabriel readings there as well.
Yes.
Bring the holy shift into the community and just really, encourage everyone.
I thought I was going to be the driver. Okay, I get to actually talk.
You got it.
And make the coffee. It's going to be so much fun. That's what we want, is a fun job on the weekend.
Exactly.
That would be our weekend job.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show tonight and always supporting everything that we do. Do you have any final little message about how to be your best self during this unrest?
I think, as therapists and social workers, we're taught to reframe. We're actually taught to teach our patients to reframe. And I think, the thing that's helped me through this crisis is kind of going back to what you and Gary and Sheri were talking about, which was, how can we reframe this? It's like we're on our knees. How do we stay on our knees, as Marianne Williamson would say? And realizing that it's kind of like childbirth. It's very painful, but whether it's the Me Too movement or what's going on now or COVID, it's all forcing us to be truth tellers. And it really feels like we're moving into a higher vibration and that we need to hang on to that. And I think the key is, really being centered and focusing on, once things open up more, what are we going to take with us so we can continue to be our best selves? Because we've kind of had a little spiritual time out, and we've had a lot of time to think. And I love that video that Debbie just sent out. Oh my God, that just almost had me in tears.
I know it was going to be our opening video, but who knows? Maybe we can add it to the show, because it's a beautiful video that that Debbie got permission for us to share to show tonight from. I forget his name, but she can put it in the comments. But he's from the Allman Brothers Band, and so he and his wife did the video.
Oh, it was so touching.
So many of the musicians. So he did this beautiful video with his wife, and we were going to play it tonight. So maybe we'll be able to. But wasn't that yeah? And our audience is like, what video are you talking about? The one that somehow kicked out of here. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to say in closing, is how do we stay anchored in what that video brought up, so that we can, when things do start getting frenetic again, we don't go back to our workaholism, how we stay centered so that we can carry this peace with us and do what our souls brought us here to do.
Yes. Very good. Well, thank you so much, my dear friend. Now let's see if I can put you back into the green room. I'm going to put you back in the green room.
Thank you so much.
Love you. Let's see. I did it. Okay, great. Thank you, Denise. You're wonderful. All right, everybody. So this is it. We're down to, we have 20 more minutes and about 10 minutes before we do our prayer. Does anybody have any questions? I'm looking through the comments. I'm not seeing any questions. If not, we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to speak freely here and give some messages from Gabriel, because I'm not seeing questions. But then again, it's hard for me to do that and focus on this. So I'm just going to get a breath again. Time for breath, everybody. And let's talk about peace and the prayer that we're going to be bringing forward in the next few minutes. And, peace is a word that has been used for, ever eternity on this planet, Gabriel says. And whether it's the actual word peace or just the energy of peace, there's been unrest. For every generation has unrest. When it comes into our realm, then it's like a new thing. But really, historically, unrest has every situation of unrest or unpeaceful war, all of those things that have been historically. If you look at the end result, there's been an evolution at the end of it, and a whole new life, beauty, a new higher consciousness. So if we're during these times of unrest and talks of war, and even all these years we've been having it, just remember that historically we've always come through as humans. Okay? We've always come through to the other side, and we've elevated from that time. Historically, people grow out of it, and some don't. And so we pray for those that don't. And if you think that you don't and you can't, just know that's not true. You have it inside of you. We all do. We have a place to that we can really dig deep within ourselves and find that joy and find that best person we are. But knowing that we are evolving through all of this. So at the end of the day, whatever day that is, could be 6 months, a year, you're going to see the light and say, wow, there has been a lot of good evolution and change. So when we feel, the fear of the shifting and the holy shifting, Gabriel's saying that holy shift is necessary. There are times in our history that are scary, he says, but we already know that we can come through to the other side. So when we pray for that energy of peace, we're praying for that energy of God, we're praying for the energy of the angels during that time, and we're actually bringing them in to this physical realm. And then we through that, it evolves and it cleans up, because peace and strife cannot be together. It's impossible for them to be in the same realm. So if we can remember as humans every day, as part of being our best self, is to feel that energy of peace, even as difficult as it is. It could even be in the shower. You know, a lot of times for me, it's in the shower when I'm not watching TV and I'm not busy and I'm not trying to do all this and that. So it can be wherever you have those few moments, just really intention. And if you do meditation, even better. If you, when you're praying, even, you know, so the intention should be of peace and knowing that we're connecting with each other on another level. So we are all connected. So when we pray for peace individually, independently, we're still, it's like little synapses. We're connecting. We're connecting in the plane. We're connecting in the energy field. And so that will grow. So as we pray here for peace and for love and for healing, just know that this is like, it's just going to twinkle out to the masses of energy. So for others who are praying for that, we're going to connect right with them, even if they're in Australia, if they're in New Zealand, if they're in Mexico, doesn't matter. Whoever has that intention, we will all connect as one during those moments. And that's very powerful. It's more powerful than anybody knows, Gabriel says. We discount what, you know, all of that is, because we think, what can we do in our little home where we're scared, right? What can I do here scared, where I won't even leave my house some days just because I can't? Well, that's another story. So we don't, you know, we're here in our little homes or our big homes, and we're saying, what can we do to make a difference? We all want to make a difference, especially right now. That's the energy. What can we do to make a difference? We can hold the space of energy and love, and that will absolutely make a difference. We are in the physical realm. They say it's the most powerful realm because we have gravity and we have time. So whatever it is that we put out certainly is powerful, and it will be heard and it will be felt by the universe, and it will be felt by each other. So I want you guys to just know that that is, you know, messages that I've been writing about and that Gabriel's been telling me about. And for several years now, we've been talking about this. And now I'm seeing that it's for this moment now. And what he says also is that we've been practicing spirituality as humans. He says, you guys practice spirituality. Well, if you practice spirituality, the practice is over. He says, right now is the time to do it. Everything we've been practicing for, right now is the time to implement our practice. So practice, you know, we've been practicing and learning, but now it's time to actually use those tools. Everything that we've learned, everything that we've been practicing in our spiritual beliefs is now time to actually do and be. So just know that it's no more practice, it just is. So everything that we do has been for a purpose of today, of everything that's happening on the news. It's been to prepare us for where we are now. And we are going to be, you know, we're just going to help. We don't even have to leave our house, and we can really help the planet. We can do that. I mean, if we sat here in prayer meditation and alone, we would help the universe and the planet more than if we were to, not to say, because believe me, I've gone and done, you know, but with COVID, I'm not going to go protest because I'm afraid of, you know, for a lot of reasons. But, you know, we can give as much energy as if we were out there protesting. And if you see them holding candles and that resonates with you, hold a candle here at home. It's the same energy. It's the same energy. The universe feels it. So whatever it is that are our beliefs, we don't have to be out there and do it. We can do it right here, as long as we all hold that same intention of whatever it is that it is we want to share and we want to help. Whatever it is in yourself, if you say, I wish there was something I can do to help, you can. So just know that every day you can do that at home, and you can do that alone, or you can do that with your family, or you can do that with your friends. So that is that's the message that Gabriel wanted me to give you and to give me, and I thank him for that, because sometimes I do myself as Josie. I get, you know, confused about what to do, and I get depressed, and I have anxiety. But he always reminds me that I also have faith, And that's what keeps me going through all of this, because I just know that God is wonderful, and that I'm here doing what it is I'm supposed to be doing, even though, I'm going like, really, that wasn't my plan. None of today where I am right now was not my plan come January 1st of 2020. It just wasn't for any of us. I don't think any of us can honestly say we would have thought we were here today, because we're in June. We're halfway through the year of 2020 already. So, but that's all good, he says, because in the non-physical realm, there's no time. So when we feel that there is no time right now, it's true. That means we're in a spiritual realm, he says. When we feel that we don't know what time it is, what day it is, it's because we are in the spiritual dimension. So remember that as well. Don't get frustrated if you think you've lost time, because you haven't. You're in timelessness, and timelessness is the Dharma. Timelessness is the Dharma. And time can sometimes bring the drama that we, say is drama. But really, Gabriel says it's just being human. Human is drama. It's like a movie, he says. It's fun for them to watch us. We're like this funny comedy. He says Hollywood couldn't even make the stuff up what's happening right now. So they're just, new material for the movies is happening real lifetime right now. And the books. I mean, they just were rerunning. They were making movies from stuff that happened back in the 50s. So now there's going to be a whole new, movies coming out. So that's, if anything else. So it is drama, but it is reality. And he says there's so much love. There's so much love from the angels. Just ask the angels whatever it is that you want. They're going to tell you. They're going to be right there with you. They're going to nurture you. They're going to heal you. You're going to feel them. They're right here. They want you to know that. And that's one of the reasons we're having the show, because they want you to know that. They say people pray to us every day, and we want them to know that we're here and that we hear them, and that when they get those little messages, it's us. Go with it. Go with your intuition. Always go with your intuition. You'll know when it's good, and you'll know when it's from the light angels. And then you'll know when it's from your own head. And then you'll go, oh, there I go again. So it's okay. No judgment. All right. So it's time. I'm going to bring up our panel, and we are going to do a beautiful prayer.
8 minutes.
Let's see if I do this correctly. Okay, good. We're all here. There we go. And then we'll end the show in 8 minutes. And right now, we're going to ask those who stay on with us to be comfortable and sit wherever they are, however they feel comfortable in their prayer. And breathe. Have the intention of peace. Pray for peace and love and healing. Share the intention together. The energy of peace. Your inner chi connecting with the energy of peace. Knowing that everything is exactly as it should be, or it wouldn't be. Seeing the city's beautiful again. Laughing together. Happy to see each other. Happy to see strangers. Seeing each other through the eyes of God, through the eyes of Source, so that we all are one.
Yes.
Love, light, healing, joy, peace, seeing each other through the eyes of God. Feeling the love that we're sending to each other, feeling it, embracing the love that we're sending to each other and the peace that we're sending to each other right now. Feeling the nurturing of the angels. Feeling the nurturing of God. Creator of all. He who has known and he who has ever known. Clear the path. Clear the path for peace. Clear the path for healing. All physical wounds and non-physical wounds are being healed through this prayer. Clearing the path for peace and healing. Clearing the path for healing the physical wounds and the non-physical wounds. And it is so. Amen. Thank you all for sharing this time with me. I love you all dearly.
Love you, Josie.
And until next week,
Monster.
love you. Next Thursday at 7 o'clock, Dharma. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Josie.
Peace all forever.